guys, it's Eric here at Farpoint Restorations and Repairs. Check it out. If you watched the other video on the Sienna, you know I was installing a new radio. This is that radio. It's the Eonon, and it is a Bluetooth, also wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. It's pretty snazzy. I'm going to go through it with you and turn it on, and we'll go through some of the features and functions. Now, I was able to retain rear camera and steering wheel controls, and this was a Highline trim model of the Sienna, so it also has a JBL amp and extra speakers. All that was still available. Okay, so we're just waiting for it to boot up here, and when it does, we'll go through all the onboard stuff, and then we'll do the CarPlay stuff. I'm going to turn the volume down just for copyright reasons, but here we are. This is what it looks like when you first start it up, and we have access to battery voltage, time, and then a whole bunch of features and functions that are built into this. In a minute, though, it's going to recognize that I have my cell phone on me, and it will automatically, I've got it set up to automatically open up my Android Auto app. But while we're doing that, I'll just keep it at home for right now. They're like all the apps that come with this thing. You can add a forward-facing camera. Obviously, you have aux in, music, radio, video. You can go down Chrome because it does have, you can put a SIM card in this and use this as its own device. You wouldn't have to have any kind of cell phone attached to it. That I don't have that, but it does come with that. Bluetooth music, of course. Car info is interesting. If you have a car that has a CAN bus, which this one does not, well, it does have CAN bus, but it doesn't have a CAN bus radio system, so I'm not able to get car information out of it. But with a newer car, you can get all kinds of live data from your car. Google, obviously, needs to know, and we have an updater. Wheel key set, that's something I had to do with this radio. I had to go in there and program my keys for like up, down, channel up, down, and pause and play and all that stuff. Settings, those are going to be Android settings. File manager. We do have this, which I'll get into here. All right, so we have EQ. We can do bass boost. I do 3D surround here. And I mean, there's a sound field. So I do have mine slightly towards the back. I'm going to move it even more towards the back here. And you can change this to your needs so that when you're listening to the music, it gives you more of what you're looking for. I want it there. Yeah, we'll try it there. And then there's filtering you can do here as far as what speaker, what sound range you want to filter out. Obviously, I have very poor hearing, so not a ton that I can do here, but we have different, we can do rock, classical. Yeah, we'll go with rock. Right, and there it is. You can see it changes, of course, to your taste. With a sound system like this car has from the factory, that's pretty darn awesome that you have such taste you can change in there. Right, Play Store, so this is not a locked system. I added a couple of other apps to it. All right, and let's see what else we got. YouTube, GPS test, which this does have built-in GPS, has an antenna that comes with it. Google Assistant, Netflix, Waze I added, Z-Link, and Torque I added. Waze is like... it's like Google Maps on steroids. In fact, I think, unfortunately, Google bought that, and so I'm sure they'll ruin that too. All right, let's go back to home. And here's we got, basically, it looks a lot like Android Auto, where you have music playing and a view of your maps. I, however, want to get into, well, I guess I'll show you this before we go. Internet, you can turn internet on and off with this thing. SIM card, I don't have one, but it does have a slot for it. General, this is where you go into steering wheel controls. Light controls, I have this set up so it's working with my headlights on the car, so at nighttime it will dim. Autoplay of media, if I stick a USB card, will it start automatically? And there is a USB-C, and an aux cord here. This is something, like, I don't recommend this, but, most cars, if you have a video playing, when you put it in drive, or when you have the e-brake off, it'll not play that video. This one has a way to disable it. I don't watch videos, so I'm not really worried about it, but it is kind of an interesting feature that it has. It can change seat position if you're, in another country. Reverse, I've got my reverse lights. I've got it set up to my camera when I go into reverse. Oh, well, I'm in settings right now. I can't do it, but it would automatically go in and show you that as it happens. So that's your setting system. I'm trying to think if there's anything else here. Radio, let me get into radio. I have to be really careful, obviously. The mode button is working on my steering wheel, so I can switch to radio. And you can see I've got my AM stuff programmed in. Unfortunately, we're out here in the mountains and it's raining right now, so we don't have anything really coming in. And then steering wheel controls will cycle through those saved, right? Okay, and then less other mode is navigation. There it is. This is built-in Navi. We have Bluetooth, which is going to pick up my, yeah, there it is, Farpoint, my phone there. All right, so then we have music here. This would be if you want to put a USB stick in, or it does have two USB stick cords that are routed right now through my glove box. And that is awesome. So I can charge my phone and I can also put extra USB, have tons of songs. It's going to be built in right there. Video, aux in, phone link, and that's where we're going to stop. It automatically is going to know that I got an Android, and it'll go to that. And it takes very little time to actually get set up. I just heard my phone beep to let me know it was about to link. And we have, I'm going to turn the volume down so I get no, there we go. And so you get in here and it is just your general run-of-the-mill, right? I've got YouTube Music, I got YouTube Premium, so I can listen to music on this. Again, the controls will change that back and forth. And I've got volume up and down, although I can't show you that. And then I don't have any Wi-Fi out here or cell service, which is glorious, I might add. But press voice, and we have, you know, your voice assistant through Gemini. We also have voice assistant through the main radio if you're not using that. So press it again and that goes away. Plus phone functions, it'll pick up and make phone calls and all the rest. So it's just awesome. It really is. To get back out of Android Auto, just press the button, you're back on your main screen. If I hit voice here, it'll have a similar function, right? Try saying call mom, right? I'll get rid of that as well. All right, so I guess that's about it. I will say this, so like it was a tough call to upgrade the stereo in this car because from the factory it had a really, really nice radio. However, it would no longer connect via Bluetooth to the phone to make phone calls. It never connected for audio. And so I had to have a whole bunch of oddball bits and pieces to get this thing to kind of work. The maps I updated through, I think, 2016, but that's still pretty outdated. So it was time. And this seemed like a really cool radio for the price. Overall, I'm happy I bought it. I'll leave a link to where you can get one of these things, and I'll see you next time. Take care.